Happy New Year, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to welcome all of my new subscribers to the family. I truly appreciate every last one of you, and I am looking forward to doing bigger and better builds this year. So stay tuned and be sure to vote on my community post to choose my next build. So today we'll be taking a tour of my Jumanji house. I actually had to buy this movie on Amazon Prime. It wasn't streaming for free anywhere, so I just paid, I think it was like $7 to buy the movie. And I did watch it like 10 times to pick up on as many details as possible. But before we get started, let's just take a moment to recognize the late actor Robin Williams, who played the older version of Alan Parrish. Some of my favorite Robin Williams movies are, of course, Mrs. Doubtfire, Flubber, Aladdin, and the movie Jack. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. You are truly missed. Now, there are a few ways you can play with this house. You can use it as a regular residential lot where you play with the original Parrish family, the mom, dad, and the younger version of Alan. Another way to play would be with Aunt Nora, Judy, and Peter, and run it as a bed and breakfast or like a residential rental. To do that, you can use either the base game roommate system or the for rent pack to section off the rooms and rent them out. If you have the Jungle Adventures pack, you can decorate the whole house with trees and plants and then place it in Salvadorada to use as a museum, or you can actually stay there if you mark it as a vacation rental. So there, depending on your style of gameplay, you have so many ways to play with this one house while relating it to the actual movie. So I think you can get some fun out of this build. So in this house, I mainly used items from the base game to furnish it, but I did use a few items from other packs. If you don't have the packs listed here, it's no big deal because this is 95% furnished with base game furniture, so no big deal. I placed this on a 50 by 40 lot in Newcrest, and it contains 5 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. But let's just start the tour, and we'll start with the main entryway. So when you enter the main hallway, the first thing you see is a spiral staircase. Unfortunately, in The Sims, we do not have spiral staircases, so I did have to improvise and just kind of make it a L-shaped stairway. My favorite part of this entire build is actually this skylight. In the movie, the shape was like a circle, like a dome, instead of rectangular, how I made it, but you guys get the point. There are 2 rooms on either side of the front door. I could not find the perfect doorways for these rooms, so I did have to improvise and just place an archway with windows on either side. This door leads to the living room. This is where the game originally began in 1969 with Sarah and Alan, the younger versions of Sarah and Alan. Sarah rolled a 6 and bats ended up coming out of the fireplace, and Alan rolled a 5, and that was when he was sucked into the game for 26 years, which must have just been terrible. This is also the room where Sarah rolled a 7 in 1995, and the vines and pods started to grow, with one pulling Peter by the ankle. So a lot of scenes did take place in this little room, so I was able to pull a lot of inspiration from the movie. Now let's head to the library/study area. I think this room was much more bigger than how I built it, but I personally prefer smaller rooms in The Sims, so it just makes it feel more homey and I don't have to decorate so much. But this is also the room where the stampede started. I added a bathroom over here because I noticed 2 doors on this wall. I kept one door and turned this little area into a full bathroom. So this room over here wasn't shown in the movie. It's just the entrance to where the hunter Van Pelt, the guy who was also Alan Parrish's father, that was just the place where he entered. So I don't know what this room was used for, but I decided to just turn it into a little study area. So once the house was sold in 1995 to Judy and Peter's Aunt Nora, she planned to turn the house into a bed and breakfast. The parlor was where she said she would place the bar. There's not many full shots of this room, so I just kept it simple. The dining room is where young Alan Parrish had that argument with his father about attending the Cliffside School for Boys. There's also the scene where Judy told Aunt Nora the rumor of Alan being chopped up into little pieces and hidden in the walls. So there were a couple scenes taking place within this dining room. So for the kitchen, I focused on the scene where Judy and Peter started playing, the game in 1995 when they were in the attic and the monkeys kind of spawned in the kitchen. There was also a small kitchen table in here that I couldn't fit, but I figured your Sims can just go eat at the dining room table. So in the dining room, there was another door that led into this smaller room, and it's just an extra room. You can do what you want with it. It's going to come empty. Now this door leads to the side little yard area and the woodshed. So remember the scene when Peter was running to go find an axe? He ran through a set of archways, and this is what that is supposed to represent. And that also led to the woodshed, which is over here. So now let's check out the second floor. This was the most complicated area to build because I believe the walls were kind of curved to make a circle. It's definitely not the exact same because, the hallways were longer, but I did try my best to mimic the placements of the rooms. I lightly furnished the master bedroom and Alan's bedroom, so let's just go check out those two rooms. So now let's head to the last area, which is the attic. I couldn't get the exact layout of the attic, but it definitely feels like one. I just used some clutter items from the Basement Treasures kit and base game to make it feel old. I of course added a piano where the lion was standing after Peter rolled a 5, which also finally freed Alan from the jungle. Okay guys, that was my version of the original Jumanji house. This build is currently out for early access on my Patreon and will be uploaded to the gallery in a few weeks. It looks like the house from the TV show Sister Sister is coming next, so be sure to subscribe to this channel for more TV show and movie walkthroughs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.